What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Future Night Eric here, and I'm coming at you with another sponsored opening. Shout outs to our sponsors Solarpop and Unplug Yourself, the suppliers of all things Yu-Gi-Oh! In South Africa, for hooking me up with a couple of boxes of Darkwing Blast. This set has been out for quite some time already. I actually don't think there's a lot to say that hasn't been said about the set. It has been out for quite some time, but again, have to give a huge shout out to Solarpop and Unplug Yourself. Obviously this did experience some delays here in South Africa, perfectly understandable considering everything that's been going on here, but the set is absolutely phenomenal. It's meta changing. This alongside Magnificent Mavens, alongside Power of the Elements, have changed the game dramatically. It's an entirely different game at this point, having the Shizu tier element deck in the format, currently making it a tier 0 format. And this set obviously just gives a boost to that deck as well as some other key decks. Cards we're looking for. Now, I am a Labyrinth player, as some of you might know, and I've actually already secured my 3 ladies of the Labyrinths, but pulling her would be awesome. I haven't had the opportunity to pull her myself. Firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these out, get rid of that box, and just jumble them up pretty much, just to create a little bit of diversity, no seeding or anything like that. And like I said, the set's insane, so lady would be awesome to pull, but to be honest with you, the main thing I'm after is the tier element secret air fusion monster, for literally no other reason other than I like the art. I don't play tier elements. I don't plan on playing tier elements until they get hit. I know that sounds super weird, but I sort of want to play the deck at its nerfed form, that it's just a fun rogue fusion meta deck, or fun rogue fusion prior meta deck, more to say. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. The other cards that are obviously in here that are insane are the bestial cards. I believe they're called the Bisted cards in the TCG, but we'll give it a see. And then for the second box, what I plan on doing is I'm actually going to do, I saw another Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTuber do this, like a super mega pack, where we don't even look at the commons. I take the shiny card, or the hit card of every pack, and make one huge 24 pack hit pile, essentially, which could be very, very cool. So that's what we're going to do for our second box. And then starting off, we of course pull our first secret rare. That's just getting us started, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sprite Sprint. That is a very, very awesome pull. Obviously, this is actually used more in the tier element deck than it is actually in the Sprite deck, which is very, very interesting. A lot of these cards up until this point have been read. We have the Gotti cards, or the fish cards, as well as about 100 tier element support cards, where Sprite only got, I think, 2, that and a trap. We have also the new set, the Krishtiri. Obviously we want like to pull Fenrir, and then actually a card that I've been looking for quite some time. This card is really, really good. I think it's actually used mainly as a dogmatic or punishment target, so let's give it a read. 2+ level 9 monsters. Maybe it's a Calamities retrain. If this card is XYZ summoned, you can send 1 monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. Pretty cool, so you can send something like Ensis. You can target monsters in your opponent's graveyard up to the number of materials this card has. Detach materials from this card equal to the number of those targets in graveyard, and if you do, attach those targets to this card as material. That's pretty cool, so it's like a DD-Crow-esque effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one face-up card on the field, negate its effects until the end of this turn. Interesting. So instead of sending Ensis, you can send this, and instead of destroying a card, you can negate a card. Probably in the, tier element format, this would be considered a little bit better. Psychic Rover, very interesting card. Level 2 also gives it some Sprite synergy. We also, of course, have the Ninja cards in the set, which look very, very cool. I'm not sure if they're going to have any impact at all. This, I believe, is a monster, and this is her attack. Very awesome. We also have some Amazonas. And then, of course, how can we forget? We, of course, Well, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. So that is actually our second secret. So we've just pulled both secrets in the first 3 packs. Maybe mixing it up wasn't that such a great idea, but hey, here we go. We still have a lot of ultras to go. Ultras in the set are insane. Fenrir, and the potential to pull a Starlight. This card is absolutely phenomenal. If you've been, like I said, a fan of my channel, you would have seen this card already. It is absolutely stunning. Another Bamboozle, that's pretty cool. Heartbeat, and then Kashtira, but damage there. So this is the other archetype that I believe when Tier Elements Ishizu was tier 0 in the OCG, that was one of the only decks that could compete. Also very impressive in the set, we have legendary ocean support in the form of Korishiru of the Aqua. We've got Laughing Puffin, and then we've got Dynamite, Power Load, the Draco Slayer. So another awesome thing about this set is there's new Draco Slayer cards, which actually makes a pendulum strategy somewhat viable, which is very, very cool. Haven't seen a viable pendulum strategy in a very long time. And yeah, I think there's an ultra rare and a secret rare of that set as well, or archetype. And then skip there. And then of course we do have other cards for support for other sets as well. Valiant's Awakening, solo activation. Place 1 Valiant's pendulum monster from your deck in your pendulum zone. If a card is in a field zone, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Valiant's monster in your main monster zone. Move that monster you control to an adjacent horizontal monster zone. You can only use each effect of Valiant's Awakening solo activation once per turn. So yeah, I believe that deck has a lot of synergy around the field spell. So I think they have 4 field spells or something crazy like that. So it makes sense that they would have a card that, you know, is essentially a reborn as long as you've got a field spell. Kageru, the Cannon Ninja, another Yurishiri of the Aqua, insane card, like I said, for Legendary Ocean. Silent Wolf, and then we have our first Blackwing card. I don't believe this is the cover art, no. Blackwing, Borestorm, the Wind. That is a lot of things. Wind Beast, Synchro, Tuna, and in effect. Very, very cool. Gaudy Cosmos, R2, and then we've got an Infernal Queen Summon. This is a retrain of, I believe, a vanilla monster. Same stats and level and everything, and I think it's technically like water support, but it doesn't directly support any specific water deck, which I suppose is quite interesting. We've got Naturia, Camellia. Obviously, these are the absolutely insane cards that make up Naturia, and we know that Naturia is, you know, infamous for not being once per turn. This card is insane as well. Tier Elements Scream. Gaudy Cosmos. Yeah, Naturia being infamous for not having anything once per turn, so they can make like infinite negates and infinite summons, and it's just it's insane. If they hit the Tier Element deck into the ground, but keep the Ishizu stuff around, pretty sure the next best deck is Naturia Ishizu. Shamshim Samshara Sorrow Cat. Never seen this card before in my life. 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monster. Once per chain, during your opponent's main phase, you can, quick effect, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card you control. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 other synchro monster in your graveyard, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Sorrow Cat once per turn. The card is absolutely stunning. Not sure if it would see too much play. The Great Noodle version, there's some wacky combo with this in PK Labyrinth where you can draw 2 cards, but you get to pick which card you draw. Very cool. Vishtari Preparations and the Naturia Mole Cricket. But like I said, yeah, Naturia getting some actually much needed and really good support in this set. Amazon is still absolutely terrible. The deck can't really do anything. We've got Frick, the Runic Fangs, a little bit of South African humor there. And then we've got Destructive Daruma Karma Cannon. That's insane. I actually ended up buying 3 of these myself as well. And I guess this is karma, having bought before opening my sponsored boxes, now that I'm getting getting singles. But either way, cards are absolutely insane. I think in a format that didn't have 2 elements, this would be wild. It adds pretty much anything. It's like evenly matched plus Book of Eclipse in a way. Not once per turn, and a very strong trap indeed. I love that Konami just has started printing just really strong traps. I think it's about time that we've gotten traps that are really, really insane. Like things like evenly matched, Imperm, and whatnot. Amazon Spiritualist, Puffin, War Chief, whatever that is, and then we've got whatever that is of the Misting Seedlings, Vernosluff. I don't know how to say them. Absolutely adorable. I mean, look at them. They're friggin' ducks. And then that is actually, I believe, a boost to the Earth Machine deck, because Earth Machine deck for some reason runs those. I think they're all like extenders that like just flood the field with Earth monsters, which is pretty cool. And I think they're all fairies as well. Cool. Next pack, we're making good progress. Balrog Dragon, I really thought this was going to be a high rarity. Awesome god. And then Baku the Beast Ninja. So that is an animal. That is very, very awesome. And then we've got Draconic Pendulums again, like I said, supporting that Draco Slayer deck. Decisive Battle. Tilting Entertainment, Train Cards, Naturia, Amazonas, Kashri, Shangri Era. So what's absolutely crazy is the Kashri cards are like weird. They're like all mythical creatures, but they are machines, and this looks like their satellite or their base, and they're being projected onto the planet that the tier elements are on, and the tier elements are fighting them to keep them from invading, but they're fighting back, and in some instances winning. Very, very strange lore, but very awesome cards. The deck, like I said, it doesn't really function as a deck. It's literally Fenrir Turbo, because that card is insane. We've got Frick, Kagero, Tilting, Ninjutsu Art, and then there we go. Speaking of Draco Slayer cards, this card is absolutely stunning. This is Majesty Pegasus, the Draco Slayer. So obviously Pendulum cards are infamous for having about 1,000 words of text in their text. But yeah, absolutely beautiful card. And then original bamboo sword there. So let's quickly just have a look, see what we're still missing. We obviously pulled out 2 secrets. We've got 1, 2, 3 ultra rares, so we'll probably do 1 more ultra rare and potentially a Starlight or even a 5th ultra rare. 3rd secret box doesn't happen as often as a 5th ultra rare box, but I suppose we'll see. We've got Donor Dagger for Hire. Glad to see that archetypes that came out of the set that had Sky Strikers for high in. They also had one other thing, I can't remember. Glad to see that they're at least still getting support. Amazonas, Tier Elements, Naturia, and then Soul Sisters. If I have stumbled or stuttered at all in this video, I apologize. I've had a crazy day. I got to touch up on my tattoo. This is very good pull, and it's really, really late. I just wanted to get this recording done as soon as possible, because obviously you know, I'm a bit late to opening up this product. Bestial Magnum Hut. These cards are absurd. So essentially all of them are DD Crows. You can toggle one light or dark monster in either graveyard, banish it, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. This is a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster. So always, if this card is special summoned, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, add 1 dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So this makes Dragon Link live again. So remember, I think in a couple of videos ago I said that Dragon Link is dead. This just brings it back. It's absolutely absurd. That might actually be the most expensive card we've pulled in the opening so far. I'm not even joking. When every deck plays a card, obviously, even if it's a super rare, its value goes up. We've got Dancing, we've got more Prediction Princess, and then we've got the other Bestial. We've got Draysworm. Very, very awesome. So this one is exactly the same. It's a DD Crow for a light or a dark, except if this card leaves the field, you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard, which is very awesome. Scream, and then the rest of our cards there. I mean, I'll take these seals or Bastards or whatever they are all day long. Cards are insane. They look very, very awesome. They're essentially Chaos Dragons for the most part. Grief Tabari Unshi, and then we've got Snopsis Shade of the Gotti. So actually not seen a lot of Gotti cards, which is very interesting, considering they actually take up a large portion of the set with supers and with ultras. We're getting down to our last, looks like 5-6 packs, and then we're just going to get straight into our absolute mega pack. I'm going to just speed that up. I'm not going to waste too much time on that because obviously we just want to see what's in it. We've got Simul Archfiends. I've never seen this card before in my life. This turn, neither player can special summon monsters with the same card type, Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, X, or Link they already control. If you do not control 2 or more of the same card types, all Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, XYZ, and Link monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. You can only use 1 Simul Archfiends per turn. This turn, neither player can special summon monsters with the same card types they already control. Am I tripping? Or is this sort of a better dimensional barrier? The only issue is you have to let them get you have to let them get something to be able to resolve this. But in certain strategies, this could just win. Like, you play against Salamangreat, they link it to Almirage, you flip this, they just stop, their turn ends. Interesting. As a super rare. These sets are absolutely absurd. Every set that's come out over the last 2-3 months has just been so good. It's actually disgusting. Even the Crystal Beast structure deck, which I do have, once again, shout outs to our sponsor Solar Pop and Plug Yourself. The reprints in that are crazy. The only reason I haven't done an opening for that is I'm planning to do it with the Battles of Legends, just so that I can do one massive giveaway of all Crystal Beast related things there. Perhaps give a box of that set, the Battles of Legends, and maybe 3 of the structure decks to give someone a chance to build Crystal Beasts. Because I know there's a lot of Crystal Beast fans out there alongside the hero fans, and I think that would be very, very cool. We've got another Snopsis Shade of the Gotti. Very cool. The rest of our commons. We are down to the last 4 packs here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what these packs hold. We've got another Sorrow Cat. If we only get 3 ultras, that would be quite unfortunate. I mean, our pulls have been really awesome up until this point, I think. Nothing to really complain about, other than the fact that I already own the cards. But the yeah, this is the second most expensive card in the set. This is Kashteri Fenrir. This card is insane. It is essentially Pankratops, not as good as Pankratops, but it's Pankratops on steroids. If you control the monsters, you can special summon this card, unlike Pankratops, which you need to go second with from your hand. You can only use each of the following effects of Kashteri Fenrir once per turn. During your main phase, you can add a Kashteri monster from your deck to your hand. Doesn't exclude itself, ladies and gentlemen. When this card declares an attack, or if your opponent activates a monster effect, except during the damage step, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls, banish it face down. Absolutely insane card. Literally one of the best pulls we could have gotten. I actually have one already that I pulled from Passport not too long ago. That makes a second, and I actually have tracked down a third, and that might be something that I invest in. Here we have a huge, very cool looking zombie monster. Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons. 2 level 6 monsters. Monsters you control gain 100 attack and defense for each card in your opponent's graveyard. Quick effect, you can target 1 card in your opponent's graveyard and detach 1 or 2 materials from this card, then activate the appropriate effects. Number 1, return it to the deck. 2, if the target is a monster, special summon it face up or in face down position to your field. If it is not, set it on your field. You can only use each effect of Wallow, founder of the Drudge Dragons once per turn. That's very cool. It's a shame that zombies are literally unplayable after the Hulky ban. That is terribly unfortunate for them. And then for our final pack, we did not get the infamous 5 Ultra pack, but we did get a second Marilogic Aggregator, which is very awesome. 2 I think is good, especially if you're playing extravagance. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, I'm probably going to just speed up the portion of this video. I'm going to crack open every single one of these packs. We'll probably see the first shiny anyway, because I need to figure out the system. I think it's 4 from the bottom, but let's sort it out. I'll be with you in a few. And we are at the last pack here, and I have decided I'm going to be giving away both boxes within this video. Once again, huge shout outs to Solarpop and Unplug Yourself for sending us these 4 boxes so that we can make this giveaway and this opening possible. So to enter the giveaway, I need to know from you guys, the subscribers, do you think a tier 0 format is healthy? And please give a reason for your answer. Like a teacher now, got to answer in full sentences. So let me know below, do you think a tier 0 format is healthy? And give a reason for your answer. I'll probably end up selecting 1 no and 1 yes, so maybe you can gauge from the comments and maybe manipulate a little bit to fit into the one that has less people and increasing your chances. But I want you to be honest, and if you do decide to answer in a particular way, try and substantiate it as best you can. And then, yeah, that'll enter you into the giveaway. Now, let's look at our literally only hits pack. And then, of course, we have our secret rare on the very top with our Magic the Gathering art, Spellbound. This card was hyped for quite some time, and it's fallen off a little bit. Nobody's really playing it. All face-up monsters your opponent controls cannot be tributed or uses material for fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link summon until the end of this turn. Very reminiscent of the trap we just read. Very reminiscent of Dimensional Barrier. Speaking of the trap that's like Dimensional Barrier, Simulus, Dynamite. We have a second Valiant's Awakening. We've got a Synopsis, that is our 3rd copy. We've got an Arion Pos, Serpent of the Gotti. We've got another Millologic Aggregator. We have another Bestial Magnahat. And then we have our T Elements Rakalos. That is a card that I wanted literally just for collection. That is ridiculous. Absolutely stunning card. Wallow, Founder of the Drudge Dragons. Sorrow Cat. We've got another Gotti. We've got Ruby of the Gotti. We've got a Kashtiri Shangri. Rex, Fright for Hire, very cool. Kashtari Birth, their field spell, no, their continuous spell. The Prediction Princess. Blackwing Borstorm, and there is our, I think our 4th Ultra, Black-Winged Assault Dragon. Another Megaloric Aggregator. Donna Dagger. Kashtiri. Sorrow Cat, Terrors in the Hidden, and our Lumps of the Misting Seedlings. Let's quickly have a look, just go through all these commons, make sure we didn't accidentally miss a hit, or maybe we got one of those mythical error boxes where we got 100 starlights in it, or a secret in every pack, or one whole pack was just secrets, but it doesn't look like it. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the opening of Darkwing Blast. Like I said, a little bit late, but huge shout outs once again to our sponsor Solarpop and Unplug Yourself. Without you, these openings would not be possible, and pulling such beautiful, amazing cards like our T Elements and our Kashtiri cards that we've pulled today would not be possible, to be entirely honest with you. And that's looking like it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for joining me, and this is Future Knight signing out.